paying attention to these things and being able to slice and dice your numbers is critical. We look at our probate data down to a granular level. So the actual probate quote unquote lead, I call it more of a prospect that you get, which is basically the filing of the probate. And we pay attention to a few key things. We pay attention to how long it took them to file the probate from the death. So how long from the date of death to the filing of probate. And we pay attention to that. And we also pay attention to how long it took them to call us, okay? From when they filed the probate till when they called our company. Now, obviously, you can only analyze the leads that you got because the people that didn't call you, you don't know how long it took them to call because they haven't called, right? It's infinity, right? But of the ones that did call you, how long did it take them to call, and how many of those turned into a deal, and why did they turn into a deal? We pay attention to that. We also pay attention to the physical location of the administrator of the estate or the personal representative compared to the decedent, the person who died. How far away do they live from one another? And some people might say, oh, well, just seems like the people that are far away would be the best. You're kind of right on that, but kind of not, okay? What I found in my analysis, I went back, and I look at this stuff minimum of yearly, but I just did a 5-year look back on 5 years worth of data and really drilled down into it. And what I actually found was that we still did a decent amount of deals from people where the addresses match. So where the decedent last address and the personal representative address was the same. We still did a decent amount of deals from them. So I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater and not market to them at all, because you're still going to get deals from those people. But what I did do is then I drilled down into that group of people and I said, okay, of the deals we did in these, did that personal representative really live at the house or did they live at a different address? And the answer was no. Actually, the majority of them, even though the address on the probate filing was the same, the PR actually lived at a different address. They just put the same address on the probate filing, but they actually lived a different address. And quite a few of them lived far away from the property. How do you target that? Well, if it matches, then what do you do? Well, you have to segment your list out and you have to pay attention to how you're targeting them through your messaging, through your mail pieces or whatever, and target those audiences that way. So that's how we kind of do that. That means you still have to spend the money and you still have to mail them, but you can segment your audience a little bit and look at them a little bit differently. So pay attention to that sort of thing. And then we also pay attention to not only the address match, mismatch, and then the distance away. You have to look at your ads, your return on ad spend for that. So don't just look at the number of leads and deals, but also look at what you're spending to get those deals, because you might find pockets within your audience where your return on ad spend is much lower or much higher. And how do you do that? Well, you have to get the data down to the granular level. You have to be able to say, this deal came from this lead, and then analyze your whole list. So I was analyzing tens of thousands of rows of probate data when I did this, and looking at, okay, I was able to calculate how much I spent in mail. So I went back to all of my mail and my mail house, and I said, okay, I mailed this particular record X amount of times, and each time I spent X amount of dollars. We break our data all the way down to that granular level.